Hi Yogi, and welcome to another Yoga Quickie with me, Oceana. In today's episode, I'll be taking you through a warm-up for the lower body, which is specifically aimed at Olympic weightlifters, but I would suggest if you do any type of resistance training, there will be something in this that might be helpful to you. Of course, I am a yoga teacher, so I'm sort of giving you my yoga perspective on warming up your body in an appropriate way for heavier weights and resistance training. So we'll dive right in to keep it short and sweet. Lean into your sitting bones, bring your left foot in front, hook the left forearm underneath the knee and then hold onto that hand as you lean back. Circle the toes just about 5 times in one direction to begin with, and then circle the opposite direction a few times. So always aiming for about 5 reps on each movement. From there, we'll see if we can really isolate just the knee joint here by holding the thigh as still as possible, circling the big toe around the knee. So you'll find that this is a bit more of an oval shape rather than a circle, but seeing if you can keep the rest of the body as still as possible. And gently reversing the circles when you're ready, still keeping them as large and expansive as you can, moving the shin bone in the knee joint. And then plant that foot down, simply swap sides. Right forearm underneath the knee, holding onto that hand as you lean back, circling the foot, going one direction to start with, really expressing through the toes, and then reversing the opposite way. Gently from there, again, finding those rotations of your big toe around the knee joint. So really the idea of these joint articulations is that we get the synovial fluid flowing between the joints so that we move smoothly. From there, we'll reverse the circles. And you'll find these types of movements in functional range conditioning, but also a lot of warm-ups in martial arts use them. They're really beneficial. We'll plant the foot back to the floor. From there, we'll have the feet, if you're using a yoga mat, wider than the mat, otherwise wider than shoulder distance. Hands behind you, fingertips pointing back. As you exhale, let the knees roll over to the right side. If you can, bring the knees all the way to the floor. Inhale, bring the knees through center, and exhale over to the right. And we'll move through that just a few times. So here, actually focusing on moving the thigh bone, the femur, through its internal and external rotation within the hip socket. So the next time that you come back from the left side, we'll meet in the middle and find our way more or less gracefully onto hands and knees into a tabletop position. As you exhale, step your left foot forward so you come into a low lunge. And we'll cycle here a few times between this low lunge and half split. So as you exhale, take your hips back, maybe even lift your front toes. You can keep the front knee bent at the beginning here, but maybe if you're very mobile, you could straighten the leg and keep the chest and your collarbones shining forward. So again, inhale takes you forward, draw the hips forward and down as you exhale into that stretch. And on the next inhale, drawing the hips back, maybe straightening the front leg, maybe lifting the toes. We'll just find that one more time here. Next time that you bend your left knee, step it all the way back and swap sides. So right foot comes forward between the hands. Again, find that movement of the hips coming forward and down in your low lunge first. On an exhale, draw the hips back. Maybe keep the knee bent. Maybe lift the toes and straighten the leg if you're ready for it. As you inhale, coming forward, hips come down as you exhale. We'll move through that just 2 more times. Next time that you're rebending that right knee, step it all the way back. Plant the hands at the front about shoulder distance, tuck your toes under, and as you exhale, find your way into a downward facing dog. So sitting bones lift up and back. Feel free in that first downward dog to bend your knees very, very generously. Maybe walking through the feet, bending one knee at a time and sending the opposite heel down behind you towards the floor. Maybe having a little wiggle of the hips. Now when you're ready from here, as you exhale, you're going to step the left foot forward. If you can reach all the way to your left pinky finger, great, but don't worry about it too much. And then step that foot back, opposite side. Right foot towards the right pinky finger. Step it back as you inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale back. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale back. Find just a few more rounds here. So very actively warming into the hips and legs. And if you can, then speed it up as much as you can, building a little bit of heat. The next time that you step back from the right, we'll meet in our downward facing dog and gently walk the feet forward to the hands. Feet about shoulder distance, a little bit wider than the hips. Soften the knees so that you can bring your belly all the way onto the thighs, and possibly as you let the head hang, you might start to press the belly against the thighs and start to straighten the legs over time for a few rounds of breath. Now we'll move through a bit of an active warm-up. So generous bend on the knees, draw your sitting bones down and back as you inhale, lift the arms into a sort of wide-legged chair pose. Exhale, swim your way to the top. Inhale, find your way back into chair pose. Draw the sitting bones down and back. Maybe your hips come below parallel, possibly even as far as Malasana Yogi Squat. Hands in front of your feet. Lift the sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Again, belly is on top of the thighs to straighten the legs. Inhale. Chair pose, lift the arms, lift the torso. Exhale, swim to the top. Inhale back into chair pose, possibly all the way hips towards the ground. Exhale to straighten the legs, release the head. Final time here, inhale takes you into that invisible chair behind you. Exhale straightens the legs as you come to stand. Deep bend in the knees, possibly moving below parallel. And exhale, lifts the hips into your standing forward bend. Maybe here working towards straightening the legs. Now hands on top of the shins as you round through the spine, stack one vertebra on top of the next, coming up to standing. Let the shoulders and head be the final thing to lift. And finally here, we'll move through Skandasana, which is a side lunge, not dissimilar to the Cossack squat in weightlifting. So we'll step the feet quite wide apart from one another, toes pointing forward, feet parallel to each other. Shift your body weight into the right leg. Now the first variation, we'll do it a little bit higher and then we'll go into some lower options. Take the arms out to your side, draw the sitting bones down and back, maybe bring your chest almost parallel to the floor and take that to the opposite leg, so shifting it to the left. Now either you could stay in this taller version or you might be able to bring your sitting bones a little bit lower towards your bottom heel. And again, from there, possibly transitioning to the other side. And we'll find that movement just a few more times. And possibly the next time that you come to your right leg, you lift the left toes and allow your sitting bones to come all the way down to the ground, and possibly without using your arms, finding that active lifting through the glutes again, maybe doing that 2 more times on this side. So you're coming back onto the heel. And from there, planting the left foot down, transitioning over to the left leg, right toes lift, possibly allowing the sitting bones to come down, shifting your body weight forward, activating the glutes to lift off the ground. 2 more times. And from there, planting both feet to the floor, straighten the legs. As you exhale, let the crown of the head move towards the floor. Walk your fingertips to the space behind you. And that is it for today's practice. So if you enjoyed this class, then do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Of course, if you have questions, suggestions, pop them in the comment section down below. And if you wanted to find me anywhere else online, that information is in the video description. Hopefully I will see you back on your mat very soon, yogi. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.